Hello, hello, and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week, we are digging into the topic of visibility, which is something that is a big challenge for a lot of people. And visibility is something that I hear about often. So whether it is someone who is struggling with, a business idea that they have that they've been sitting on for a long time because they don't want to tell any of their family or friends, someone who is looking for interviews but doesn't want to actually ask anyone they know for introductions, or just anyone who needs support in any capacity but is fearful to ask for it out of, fear of putting themselves out there. Fear of visibility is very, very common. Admittedly, this is something that I have struggled with myself in the past. So even though you see my face on here now and you might think that woman has no problem being visible, this was not always the case. So when I originally started Empowered Achievers, I was so scared of getting on video, talking about my business, putting myself out there. All of it made me very uncomfortable. And so it's something that obviously has evolved over time, but just know I completely understand it. I have been there too. And the thing is, visibility, the reason why it's so scary is because it's all about vulnerability, right? These things go hand in hand. And that's why putting yourself out there can feel so very hard sometimes. But it's important to realize that visibility is important, right? There are certain things that require visibility to be successful. So if you are starting a coaching practice and you don't tell anyone that you have started a coaching practice or what you do or how you help people, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting clients. Same thing with interviews, right? You can wait until you finally find that one you apply for online with a zillion other applicants and you get traction. But if you could just put yourself out there and network and tap into the people who already know, like, and trust you, you probably have a lot easier time, and that requires visibility. And so I bring this to your attention because I think it's really important to remember how huge this piece can be. And if there's something that you've decided on doing, right, if there's some sort of change that you've been wanting to make and it hasn't been getting the traction that you want it to be getting, so it hasn't, it's been feeling frustrating, it's been feeling like this change hasn't been going how I want it to go, visibility may be the missing factor for you. It might be that missing ingredient. And so it's really important to understand if this is having to do with where you're at right now, especially if things aren't going how you want them to go. So that is my tip for you this week. I want you to ask yourself, is visibility an issue for me? Am I putting myself out there wholeheartedly? Because as we've talked about before in our conversations around that pseudo commitment and kind of half committing to doing something, visibility very much goes along with that conversation. Fully putting yourself out there so that you can fully get those results that you're looking for. And so I want you to ask yourself, is visibility an issue for me? And what I wanted to share with you today were the 3 main fears behind visibility, because sometimes by explaining these, you can help to understand, oh, okay, yeah, that's the one that's coming up for me. I see what's really going on here, right? Mindset is something I spend so much time with clients on because it is very, very important. And so I wanted to share the 3 main fears that are actually driving this fear of visibility, because it can help you to really understand what you need to work on. So the 3 that are typically the most prevalent here are 1, what if I put myself out there and they're not interested, right? So what if I put out an offering and people aren't interested? Oh my gosh, that would be awful. The second fear that comes up is, what if people judge what I'm doing? Also a very uncomfortable one to think about. And then the third is, what if I share publicly about this thing and it doesn't work out? Ooh, none of those are fun, right? None of those are fun feelings, and a lot of them are the reason, right? Those 3 are the real core behind why a lot of people are scared of visibility, because they're either scared that they'll put themselves out there and no one wants what they're putting out, they're scared that people will judge them for it, or they're scared that, right, they're gonna put themselves out there and then they're gonna fail and oh my gosh, everyone will know. Now, I have thoughts on how to respond to all of these, but all I want you to do this week is think about which one resonates the most with you. If you're realizing you have been struggling with the fear of visibility, which one of these beliefs, or is it something different that we haven't even named here? Which one of these beliefs is actually driving that fear of visibility? So I really would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a direct message. Let me know which one of these 3 is coming up the most for you, or if there's something else entirely, I would love to hear it. But start with that, because identifying what's going on behind this fear of visibility is the first step into actually turning it around, okay? So begin there, and in the meantime, happy working.